What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. And I want to take a little more time to talk about a decision that the Seahawks made a couple of days ago regarding Jamal Adams. I know that this is now kind of old news, but I want to talk about this in further length because I think this is interesting, and I think the reasons behind it are pretty important to peel back. So I'm not talking about the decision to release him because that was a no brainer. However, the decision to release him normally, just out and out release him, not as a post June 1st release, is interesting. I'm going to say interesting. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not sure it's bad. I think it's suboptimal for sure, but I'm not going to say it's bad. But we decided to do that. Most people expected post June 1st. What that would have done is taken his $20 million cap hit and spread it out over this season and next season. Now we take the full 20 million dead cap hit now. So this is still less than his cap hit for the year. We save a little more than 6 million in 2024 doing this. But we could have unlocked over 16 million if we had done post June 1st. So people might be wondering, why did we do that? And I made my video a couple days ago talking about how, excuse me, talking about how I thought post June 1st was better for a few different reasons. And I read the comments. I read all the comments I got on that video. A lot of people said they thought it was a good idea to just get it over with. A lot of people said, let's just get it over with now. Let's make it so we don't have to think about it anymore in 2025. Again, my issue with that is cap rollover. Money that you don't spend this year can roll over to 2025, and because of the cap going up, that's actually more valuable. So, in a way, it's actually a little bit cheaper to do the post June 1st cut if you take into account the increase in cap. I know it's slight. I know it's like maybe $1 million in value, but it's there. The rollover kind of makes me feel like the whole idea of, oh, let's just get it all over with now. Like, you could do the post June 1st and then not spend some money from what you get from the post June 1st release and then have that money roll over to 2024 and or excuse me, 2025, and it covers the additional dead cap hit in 2025. And I know that probably sounded a little bit confusing, but the point I'm trying to get to here is I see it, I get it, I hear it, but I still kind of think post June 1st was better. But I want to talk about what this represents. I want to talk about why they may have done it. Because usually when a team takes on a massive cap hit, they're trying to spread it around. Usually when a team takes on a big cap hit, they are trying to chop it up across 2 years for the reasons that I've described. It is viewed as a credit card with a 0% interest rate. It is viewed as actually profitable because the cap keeps going up. So this is notable. Most teams would not have done this. So why are the Seahawks doing it? Regardless of whether or not I like it, because I already said I think it would have been better post June 1st, but that's not really relevant to what I'm asking here. What was the motivation for doing it? A lot of people in the comments said it's an indication that the Seahawks are not going to go for it in 2024. That's what a lot of my comments said. The Seahawks are not planning on going all in 2024, so they figure as long as we're not going all in, let's just get the Jamal Adams cap hit out of the way now. And that way we don't have to think about it in 2025 when we might go all in, depending on how things go in 2024. That's pretty reasonable. I would argue that you could still do that with the post June 1st designation, but if that's the case, then it doesn't really matter that much. You could do it pre or post, and it's kind of the same thing almost. Because if you're not planning on going for it, then you can kind of just kick back and take it easy and just take on the dead cap money however you want to. What's the difference, really? The rollover covers the dead cap hit next year, hypothetically, but you could just do it now. So I could see that. So my question is, how far are the Seahawks going to take that philosophy? How far are the Seahawks going to commit to not going all in. Because I want to be very clear, they should not go all in. Going all in right now would be a pretty bad idea. We have a rookie head coach, an offensive coordinator that's never worked in the NFL before, a defensive coordinator who's never been a defensive coordinator on any level before, I believe. And there's a lot of inexperience on this coaching staff. Scott Huff has never coached an NFL offensive line before. So it makes no sense to go all in when you have no idea what these guys are going to be. I love Mike Macdonald. I think he's going to be awesome. He could be bad. He could be terrible. We have nothing to go on except his assistant coaching track record, which is great. But there is a long history in the NFL of assistant coaches and coordinators not working out as head coaches for one reason or another. So going all in, I mean, that's like what Denver did with Nathaniel Hackett, right? Dumbest thing ever, what they did. And now they're really paying for it. They hired a clipboard holder for Matt LaFleur, and decided to go all in to win a Super Bowl immediately. And they thought that was going to work. And now they're paying for it. So no, the Seahawks should not go all in. The question is, if they're not going to go all in, how far in should they go? I think it's become very popular. It's become very in vogue for Seahawks fans to, not even Seahawks fans, NFL fans, to take everything to an extreme. Either you hold down the gas pedal to the floor and you're going 200 miles an hour, or you have your parking brake on. So there has become less and less tolerance for the middle. And overall, I think this is a good thing. I think it's good to desire a franchise that is going to stop and start. When they go, they go. And when they stop, they stop. So what I would say is that if the team is doing this because they're just trying to get some stuff over with, and by the way, if that's the case, I think it's a little more possible, although I still doubt it, that Tyler Lockett is moved. Because Tyler Lockett's another guy who is due a lot of money over the next 2 years. Now, unlike Jamal Adams, he's actually a good player. He's actually valuable. He's capable of doing positive things for your team. But I think it makes it a little more likely you move Lockett, because you might be going, well, by the time we are ready to go take the plunge in 2025, hopefully, he's going to be too old and we're going to have to move on anyway, so let's just do it now. I could see it. But here's what I would caution against. Don't think that everything happens at once. Don't think that you just, one day you've got swampland and then the next day you've got a thriving capital city. Understand that everything that happens for a truly great team is built from the previous iterations of that team. The 2013 Seahawks that won the Super Bowl got there building off of what the 2012 Seahawks did, which got there building off what the 2011 Seahawks did, which got there building off what the 2010 Seahawks did. It was a process. Even those first two Pete Carroll teams that went 7-9, one team flukes into the playoffs, the other team doesn't, 7-9, that was part of the process. Those 2 years where you're building up, where you're finding some little modicums of success, even if it wasn't a good season, is part of it. So I know that the initial feedback to something like this will be, well, if we're going to do this, let's just tank. Let's trade everybody. Let's cut everybody. Let's just go 0-17 or 2-15 or whatever. Let's just have a terrible season, get all this crap off the books, and then in 2025, we'll go win the Super Bowl because we'll get the number one pick and we'll have all the cap space to spend on players. And I understand that that's probably going to motivate people to really want to move off of a guy like Tyler Lockett. It's going to motivate people to really want to not bring back a guy like Leonard Williams. It's going to motivate people to really not want to maybe retain a guy like even Uchenna Nwosu, who can't really be moved off of. But you understand what I'm getting at here. There are going to be some players that people go, well, if this is the path, they can go too. DK Metcalf might be part of that conversation too, by the way. And I just want to caution people against thinking like that. Because The foundations of success need to be built, even if you're not going all in yet. The Seahawks didn't really start going all in until the offseason before they won the Super Bowl, when they traded for Percy Harvin and they brought in guys like Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett. To me, that was them basically going all in. Before then, they kind of stayed in the pocket. They did some stuff. They spent some money on Sidney Rice and Zach Miller, but I don't think they were going all in. They knew it. They had Tavares Jackson at quarterback, for Christ's sakes. Of course they weren't going all in. I hope not. If they thought they were going all in with Tavares Jackson at quarterback, whatever. But find a sensible middle ground here is what I'm going to say. Because I know that when free agency starts, the Seahawks are probably going to not do anything huge. They're going to do some stuff. I think they're going to do more than some people expect, but less than some people want. And when those people see the Seahawks not going after the big guns, they're going to think, well, if we're not going to go after the big guns, let's just tank. And understand that that's not how football works. This is a process. I can understand the Seahawks not trying to win the Super Bowl now. We're not. It's unreasonable to expect this team to win the Super Bowl. It's unreasonable to expect this team to be some great juggernaut in 2024. I think we can all agree on that. Best case scenario is that they're a good team that makes the playoffs and then they get hot, like the 2012 Ravens. That could happen, but that's a lottery ticket. That's a little bit different. That's something that you can do without going all in. That's something that you can do with this big Jamal Adams dead cap hit. So I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit, because I think we get lost in the idea of being all or nothing, and we forget that the all part does have a foundation that it needs to be built on. So don't throw away the whole season just because we're doing moves like this. See you guys later. Go Hawks.